I'm always amazed at how much work I put into. I'm always amazed at how nosy I am. That's what it is. So I want to welcome you all back to my channel. I am so glad that you enjoyed my first video because that was really hard for me. I have to tell you, originally I was stalling on sending out the video. I kept pushing it back and pushing it back. And finally, because I told a friend that I was putting it out Thursday, of course she would text me and say, "Did you put the video out yet?" I was like, okay, let me push this video out because I don't have any lies to give her about why I didn't push this video out. So I'm just happy that y'all enjoyed it. And even though it was a little rough, I'm not even going to say I'm hoping it gets better. I know they're going to get better because I keep learning more and more about this video thing, and I actually enjoy it. First and foremost, I want to give you some information on sugar because people have been asking me. Probably the most important thing to them is, how do I get off the sugar? Well, let me tell you, it's not easy, but it's not horrible either. And like I said in the first video, there's always substitutes. I personally have tried probably the majority of them, and there are pros and cons to it. But I think at the end of the day, it's about taste. I like things that taste like sugar. I don't like pure artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners to me are sweet and low. And if I tell you that stuff was the nastiest thing on the freaking earth, I remember my mother using it in her tea. And I don't know how she did it, because that, if you want to talk about something that tastes like a chemical, sweet and low is one of those things I just can't. So even when I first heard about artificial sweeteners, I was like, no, I can't. You know, I saw the Splendors and the Equals of the world, but I just wasn't ready to go there a couple of years ago. I was just like, what the crap is that? Because in my head, I was thinking, that has got to taste like sweet and low, and I'm not going there. I'd rather use regular sugar and die before I use sweet and low again, or anything that tastes like sweet and low. But what happened was, I had a coworker who used to love the diet lemonades from Chick-fil-A. I don't know if you've ever had them, but I'm telling you, the first time she told me, she's like, "I'm gonna bring you back a diet lemonade." I was like, you already messed up when you said diet. Because of course, in my brain, I was like, that gotta be a sweet and low lemonade or something. But, you know, I was just like, okay, you know, I guess at that point, I was just like, I don't have anything to lose. You know, she's paying for it, so I'm gonna try it. And she brought me a diet lemonade from Chick-fil-A, and let me tell you, that sucker tasted good. I was like, what the hell is in this? And when she told me they used Splenda in their lemonade, I was like, get the crap out of here, because I had seen I ordered Splenda for the damn office and never knew that I could like Splenda, because in my head I was like, oh, sweet and low, there you go, not gonna touch it, sorry. But I realized after that that I needed to try some other things and kind of wipe away that recorder that was continually telling me in my head that every artificial sweetener tasted like sweet and low. So I ended up buying the Splenda, and I started putting it in stuff. But then I also started trying erythritol. I think that's how it's pronounced. I think I got that right. And it was okay, but it was a little too chemically for me. But I do use it in some desserts, and it's okay. But I find that it's better for me if I mix it with something else. But I haven't used it in a while, because once I started using liquid Splenda, which doesn't have the, what is that crap called? Maltodextrin in it. That's when I was just like, this is the bomb, and I don't need nothing else. I'm just gonna use liquid Splenda. There are other ones like xylitol. I haven't used that, but I did hear that that does affect your blood sugar a little. I'm not diabetic, but for some reason, no, actually I know the reason. My grandmother had type 1 diabetes. So my trigger is when somebody tells me I'm pre-diabetic, or I have elevated blood sugar, anything funky that the doctor says that has to do with sugar. That's all he has to say to me, and that's my trigger to watch my weight or watch my eating habits. I haven't had that issue since I lost the weight, thank goodness, but it still sits in the back of my head. But anyway, that was a sidebar, which you will get some of these ADHD sidebars when I'm on here, because the struggle is real with this ADHD. But I still like sugar. I still, I don't know if I mentioned it in the first video, but I love chocolate chip cookies and Tate's chocolate chip cookies. Those are my favorites. They're gluten free. It don't matter. They still got sugar in them. I'm going to have a conversation with you in another video about that gluten-free versus regular flour thing, because a lot of times people think that gluten-free means they can eat more of it and it's way healthier. And in some ways it is healthier, but it doesn't take away from the fact that things like whole wheat flour are, have gluten in them, and they're fine for you. And 99% of y'all don't have celiac disease, so let's stop it with the gluten fears. You can eat some gluten. You'll be okay. You ain't gonna die. And that goes out to my brother too, because he's one of those ones that Mr. Paleo, and he don't touch gluten, and so now he's a little bit going back in that direction, but not, he'll never be the white flour king, but neither will I. But I do use sprouted whole wheat flour, which costs me a little more, but at least I know that it's like really good flour. Trust me, I pay some money for it, but I still feel like it's better for me, and I use it and stuff, and I like the taste of it. So anyway, back to sugar again, because I think we went off into flours. But white sugar, people, I'm going to dispel one myth that I think people have about brown sugar. They think brown sugar is better than white sugar. But I'm here to tell you that brown sugar ain't nothing but white sugar with some molasses in it. It's still white sugar. It is still sugar. And if you look up the glycemic index on brown sugar, ain't no damn better than white sugar. It's all the same. It's still sugar. So don't fool yourself into thinking because it looks brown and, ooh, that must be a little healthier. No, it's not. Not really. Honey is good. I like honey. I don't use it a lot because, once again, at the end of the day, it is still sugar. You could put honey in your tea. Can't put 12 tablespoons in there to get it ripped up and nice and sweet. But I use it in some recipes because it's better than sugar. Good Lord, it's definitely better than sugar and healthier than sugar, but it's still sugar at the end of the day. And if you're trying to watch your diet and lose weight, all of these things contribute to you maybe or possibly not being able to move that needle on the scale, unless you have an electronic scale. I'm just, I'm 70, so back then there was a needle on the scale. But anyway, when I was on my quest to lose, I was doing low carbs, but I was not doing keto. A lot of people talk about how they're going to do keto to lose weight. Keto for me is unsustainable. Some people swear they can sustain keto. More power to you. I can't do 20 carbs a day, 20 grams of carbs a day. It just doesn't work for me. All of these things I have tackled, especially since November 2016, when I started my second and final, and I say final because I'm not going through this crap again. It's hard enough to lose weight, but as I said, once I got rid of the sugar, it made it much easier. So November 2016 was the beginning of my journey with this weight loss thing, and it's not over. This is going to be a journey I'm on for the rest of my life. And as I said, I'm going to be sharing all of this with you. Everything I went through, everything that I did. Because whether if I don't have it written down, I got it in my head still. I remember it all. And the good thing is, because I've been tracking my calories since then, I can show you everything that I have been eating. All the times when I wasn't eating right, but I figured out how to fit it in so that I could still keep my weight loss going and my bacon and waffle journey. Now, there's some people on here that's watching this that know that I love bacon and waffles. Actually, the name of my blog is going to be Bacon and Waffles. It came to me immediately that I wanted that to be the name of my blog, and I have no shame. And I still eat bacon and waffles, but I have changed up a lot about, well, not the bacon, but I've changed up a lot about the waffle. I changed my syrup. I was like what was that syrup I used to love? The Log Cabin full-on sugar syrup person before I got on this weight loss journey. I loved Log Cabin syrup. It was like full strength. I think it would kill me today because my body is just so used to me not using it anymore. But it was so good back then. But I knew when I was giving up the sugar that I had to find another syrup. And so I actually gave up bacon and waffles for a long time until I found the sugar, I should say, until I found the syrup that worked for me. And it was just, I've been happy. I've been back on my bacon and waffles thing. I don't eat it every day. And I guarantee you back then I was eating it like every day for breakfast. The alternatives to regular white sugar has changed my life. And I think it will change your life once you have choices and know the choices that are out there. And hopefully I can dispel some of those myths that you've been listening to and following all this time. So once again, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Tell your family and friends about it. And I will see you next week. Bye.